Hey, it's MiWilderness again. Up here in southern Michigan. Getting ready for maple season. This will be my second year making maple syrup. And this is a homemade evaporator that I built out of a 275 gallon fuel oil drum. Fuel oil tank. I just cut a big hole in the top for my pans, and what I'm using are the steam table pans that you see at the buffets and restaurants. That's I believe that's about a 20 by 40 inch hole, and that'll hold 3 of those big steam table pans that you see at the buffets. That's what I'll put my sap in. This is the firebox. These are fire bricks. They're about $1.55 a piece, depending on where you get them. I bought 30 of them and lined my firebox with them to help retain the heat. And then I've got some nice heavy cast iron grates down at the bottom to let air in to feed the fire. This is the piece of steel that I cut out from this opening. I just use that to hopefully try and channel the flame up and underneath those pans to get as good of a boil as I can. And if you look back there, that's the exit for my smokestack. That's my base. And what that is an 8-inch duct transition to a register. I think that was like $6, $8. And then my smokestack, which is just a piece of 8-inch ductwork. And then I just kind of rigged up a makeshift cap for it to help keep the snow out and keep some of the big embers from flying off. I figured I'd just do a quick vid and show you what it looks like before I get it completely put together. This is the feed door, and below that is the clean out door. I just used a gate latch for my feed door. You can see up inside there. And some self-tapping screws to hold everything together. These are some old door hinges that I took off of a scrap door. I used those on both the feed door and the clean out. Nice big clean out to let a lot of air get in there to the fire. That's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and fit the stack on and get my pans in here and fill them up with water and fire this thing up and see how it works. Give it a good test fire. I'll get back with you once it's all set up. Alright, well, here it is. Got it all set up and ready to fire up here. Got my 3 pans in there. And I have 2 big stainless pots that I'm going to use to hopefully preheat the sap before I put it into these pans. Stacks on. These are just some little braces to an old steel utility shelf that I saved Put those on there to kind of reinforce the stack. Had to wedge a couple pieces of steel up under this side to raise it up an inch to level it out. And also I had to put one of the bungs out of this tank right there on this far rear pan to level it out as well. But it's all ready to go. I'm gonna set this camera up and fire it up. Got a wheelbarrow full of wood. See how it goes. Oh, let me show you the inside real quick again with the pans in there. There's the bottom of the pan, just above those bricks. Looks like I got about 3 or 4 inch clearance between the pans and the brick. So I should get hopefully a nice good flow. Hopefully a nice good flow through there. It echoes. Set it up and see how it goes. Well, it's going. See if it stays going. I wanted to close that up so it'd get a draw going through there and light that wood. I got about 2.5 inches of water in each one of these pans, and that's about 10 gallons. I'll see how long it takes to boil and see how much I can bring this water down with how much wood. Get an idea of how much wood I'm going to need to boil down 5 gallons or so of sap. Looks like it's drawing pretty good now. Yeah. I got a little bit of smoke coming out here. I may need to get some insulation or something to plug that up. Might just be able to slide these pans down some. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can do that right now. Well, it's been about 10 minutes, and this first pan is it's getting ready to boil. Second pan is just starting, and the third pan is steaming a little bit. And those pans aren't doing anything. Now that it's going good, there isn't much smoke coming out the front here, so hopefully that won't be a problem. Doesn't look like there's smoke coming out anywhere else too much. A little bit right there, you can see the black spot, and a little bit around this pan. The only problem I had with this fuel oil tank is when I cut that opening out, the memory of the tank kind of came back, so it kind of bowed up in the center there, and that's why I have the gaps on each end now. That's cranking along. I just stuck some more wood in here after the first load. Loaded it up pretty good. Hold on a second. I want to see where that fire's going. Looks like it's kind of going around the pan and going back. I may need to get a couple more bricks. But it's cranking. I can feel the heat. And this pan is really starting to cook now. Well, she's raging away now. I just filled it up with wood for the third time, and I think it's been about a half an hour. So it probably is going to need wood every 15 minutes or so, 15-20 minutes. And in a half hour I've went through, well, it'll probably be an hour, and I'll go through a wheelbarrow full of wood. But only this first pan is boiling. Well, this second pan is starting to boil, and the third pan is hot, but it's just not boiling. And it's been a good half hour, so I'm not sure what to do about that. I may need to rearrange my fire bricks inside to try and get that fire flowing across those pans, because with this thing being wide, I think some of the fire is kind of scooting around each side and kind of missing those pans. These big pots sitting on the back didn't do anything. So I took this old aluminum pan that I used last year and filled it up with water to see if it will at least get hot. Because I'd like to have a pan here that will get the water hot, and then I can ladle it from that pan into this one, which will get it even hotter, and then ladle into this one, which will be just boiling, and finally into this one, which will be a raging boil. And even with that, even though all three of my pans aren't boiling, it seems to be doing pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty sure I went through at least 2 gallons, and it's been about a half an hour. So even though these back two pans aren't boiling very well, I should get a good 4 gallons an hour boil if I keep an eye on that fire, because this pan has a good 3 inches of water in it now, and it's just raging. I can't keep that one from boiling. So I can probably keep this pan pretty full and just keep these other two a little bit shallower. That's what I'm trying to do now, to see if I can get them to boil. But this is all just an experiment. An experiment in syrup. A sweet experiment.